everybody, and welcome to your Niagara Falls experience, episode 25. We are a quarter of a century into this. I must say, I'm not looking too bad for having done this for 25
years.
Yeah. I'm 107 next week. So anyway, Peter, you're not Peter.
No. I'm Peter.
Are you sure? I could be Peter.
It's Zoe! Zoe, hello!
Hello. It's me.
Yes, this is not Peter. This is Zoe.
Hi.
And Zoe is great because Zoe is not from Niagara Falls, New York.
I am not.
And is not from Niagara Falls, Canada.
I am not. I'm an outsider.
Yes, an impartial, neutral.
I'm from Switzerland. No, I'm not from Switzerland.
God. We're gonna die!
No, I'm from Ohio.
Ohio?
Yes, it's a real place. People don't believe that, but it is. It's real.
I don't know.
It's cursed, but it's
Is
real.
it somewhere over the rainbow?
No, it's on the other end.
I've been to Ohio.
Yeah, zippity-doo-dah. Welcome to Ohio. I spent a week there one afternoon. It was really good.
Where in Ohio did you spend time?
Oh, I spent time in Cleveland, Dayton, Columbus, where else? Toledo, all over. No, Ohio's okay. We used to have a friend here at the studio. Her name was Barb. We called her Ohio Barb because she spent most of her life in Ohio as a uncivil non-servant. And she came back here, she retired here, and then she passed away last year. We were all really sad. But Ohio Barb was Ohio. There you go. She's the epitome of Ohio. We called her the First Lady of the Buckeye State.
So I guess you're our new Ohio rep.
Caleb says, Zoe!
Hi!
Yes. Hi, Caleb.
Every time someone says that,
It's Zoe! Zoe, hello!
Wow. It's okay. Sesame Street has haunted me my whole life, and honestly, there are worse things to be haunted by, so I'm okay with it.
That is good.
Sarah Hall says she loves your hair, Zoe.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice when I'm giving tours, and people are like, I can see you a mile away, and I'm like, yes, you can.
Yeah, we didn't cover that. So why are you here in Niagara Falls?
And now, believe it or not, for some reason, I was hired as a tour guide. So that's what I do. I know. Who could believe it? But here I am with my coworker, Nico. Hello, Nico.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Hey! Moron!
we never do say where we work or who we work for. We just...
Iceberg, right ahead!
We just
That was my old job, Peter.
long before our time now.
Before the dark times, before the Empire. But no, yes, actually, Zoe and I are co-workers, and the best part is later on we're going to force Peter to challenge us to trivia.
Oh, we are?
Oh, yes, we need to decide. So the running thing is both of us have independently won trivia competitions involved within what we do here in Niagara Falls, but we've only vaguely competed against each other, never like a one-on-one competition. And Peter, who is the ultimate source of Niagara Falls information to the point where he'll usually correct me, is going to have to be the one to come up with a bunch of random questions about Niagara Falls. No pressure, Peter!
Please make them easy. I am very sensitive.
Make them as hard as possible.
Please don't.
All right, there were 48 people on Maid of the Mist on its inaugural voyage. Name them. No.
All right,
By the
Nico.
way, Sarah Hall has one more thing for you, Zoe. She says, might as well get started. We're going to be chatting with you about tours. She's got a question for you from Sarah Hall in Niagara Falls, New York. Sarah asks, what's your favorite part about giving tours? As someone who is interested, which I know she is, I would love to know more information.
Oh, what a fantastic question. So I kind of got into this industry on a whim because before this I was a preschool teacher. So I've always kind of loved working with people. That's kind of been my thing my whole life. Yeah! I love kids. So when I got into this industry, I was very nervous I wouldn't be good at it. But truthfully and honestly, one of my favorite things, besides meeting people on tours and like actually in the field, is all of the people that you work with are in the best mood ever because you're working in the coolest places ever.
Yay!
So when you're like at Niagara Falls, you cannot be in a bad mood. You could be having the worst morning possible, but you show up for work and everyone is just so excited. You're in one of the most beautiful places in the world and everyone's having such a good time. It's such a positive experience every single day. And I love it. I love meeting new people. I love getting to talk to everyone. There's not a downside to the job. So I guess my favorite thing about tour guiding is everything. So yeah.
Did you script that, Peter?
No. What do the kids think? Oh, you got a great response. Okay. All right. Shut up, kids.
Clearly, Peter was not a preschool teacher.
That's okay. That's probably for the best. Preschool dropout? That's almost impressive.
Yeah, I know. Kindergarten was the best 4 years of my life.
Pre-K didn't even exist when you were around, Peter.
There's actually, I got another idea. Well, I think of it. Angela's here. Hey, Angela.
Angela.
Awesome. She sent a picture of me today of her in in what she called her Mongolian hat. Mongol, like Genghis Khan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
I saw her earlier.
Imagine Angela riding with her hordes, surrounding the enemy with her little dinosaur on her back. Go, Farini! But Angela, why don't all the tour guides who are watching us come up with one question later and post it for us so we can ask you those questions?
Yes, I like that idea.
And I'll ask one too. There's no problem. But
you could feel the pressure, right?
That's fine. I'm here for it.
It is funny though, because I saw Angela earlier today. And it's funny because she was wearing that hat, and over at the Maid of the Mist, the staff at the Maid of the Mist call her the Dragon Lady because she has the dinosaur head, but they call her the Dragon Lady. And it's funny because all of a sudden you just see her like wandering down in a long coat and a Mongolian like Sherpa hat with a puff of smoke because she had her vape on her. Oh. And there was just this cloud of smoke and like this dinosaur head puffing out. And
it's good stuff.
It was like, I'm like, this is it. You see that coming like in the distance, just a cloud of smoke. And this dinosaur head pops out and she's riding over and I'm like, this is like, it was like amazing. Like, I was like, this is great. Because Little was like in the parking lot on her way out and I'm just like, in the distance, slight rain falling from the sky. Steam, a cloud of smoke. Out from the ether comes the Dragon Lady, riding atop, laying waste. And it's funny because she worked at a Renaissance fair before she was a tour guide. So
that makes so much sense. That is so fitting.
तुम बकवास का एक टुकड़ा हो.
I have no idea what he just said, and I'm not gonna translate.
Questions for another time.
Questions for another space.
All right, any other questions yet? No.
Not yet, but speaking of, we have a phone, I think.
Yes,
We had
I better connect it. You want to talk to Zoe, folks. You really do. Just trust me on that one. I'm going to connect the phone right now.
Yes, nobody ever calls in. It's quite disappointing.
Mom, if you're watching, now's the time. Call in and say hi. My mom actually might be watching.
Yeah,
I did tell her about this.
Like, we haven't posted the phone number.
Yeah,
Please call in at blank, blank, blank,
Oh, trust
blank,
me,
blank,
you want to know why I'm
redacted.
delaying here. I've got the best pictures of Angela from today, and they are going to be coming towards us in a moment. That telephone number, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is 716-957-5258. 716-957-5258. Operators are standing by.
Do we have operators?
Well, how else are they going to get the
Train
collections
monkeys in
for
the
the
back.
beaver sharks?
Where is Julian, anyway? You gotta get him back. He wants to bring his dog on. Where's your dog, Zoe?
Okay, so get this. I did say I was going to bring my dog. His name is Mo. He's a wonderful boy. But he barks a lot, and I think he'd be terrible at podcasts. His teeth don't fit in his mouth. He's just...
I have the same problem.
He's a silly little guy, but he would steal the show, and truthfully and honestly, I'm selfish, and I wanted it to be all about me.
Good answer. Speaking of Peter, there are actually some photos in today's folder.
Oh, really?
Yes, relating to Zoe.
Why?
Being a tour guide.
I did not consent to this. What?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this.
Was this in the
I
contract?
completely forgot to... They're not in there yet. You'll have to go in the deep end of it.
Oh, the dark
You know, the thing with the thing and the click and the thing.
Oh, why? I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? The thing with the thing in the place and the thing in the
Yeah, I
place.
know exactly what you're talking
You know,
about.
that thing with the thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was that thing that had the thing with the thing and the thing there. Yeah, those things. Those ones. Yes, it's a thing.
Oh, these are good. Hold on one moment, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. Better tell you who these people are again. They are Zoe and not Zoe. Hang on, we're going to get one more.
You see the fascinating history of this. Yes, obviously.
Oh, you can hear her reaction. So, folks, this is our telethon. When we raise $1,000, we're going to post the picture of Zoe.
Honestly, a worthy cause.
You could start with those great wax figures over. We went to the Niagara Wax Museum of History.
We did do that. What a wonderful endeavor that was.
Those are the exact words. Those are the words we're using.
You have to walk through a sketchy souvenir shop and walk in a back room. But it's a cool experience to go with friends.
So you want one up there?
I think we should start with the best wax figure.
You.
Yeah.
All right.
We need
wax
proof.
on,
We need proof that I'm actually a wax figure. There we go.
wax on, wax off.
Yes.
As you could see, you could see the look in my eyes. Just there is a look of abject fear
Years
and
years.
confusion.
What a wonderful photo. Your photographer must have been fantastic for that
Or is a
photo.
bomber. Hang about.
Yeah, I don't know about that photographer.
All right, you want another one here? Do you want this one?
Yeah, there we go. That's the real one. Let's see this one. Comparison.
Here we are.
Oh, the pose. The power.
The hemorrhoids.
That
Wha-
is not factually correct, everybody.
Oh,
Oh.
I get it.
Peter gets 3 comments
That's fine.
per show
I can
before
take
we
it.
get to throw him in a barrel over the falls.
Oh, wonderful.
He's never hit 3.
wait, no.
He's gotten 2.
Hold on. I actually have a bone to pick with you, Peter.
Oh, pick me.
I heard a rumor on last week's podcast that you think I, out of all of Nico's coworkers, would be the one to go over the falls in a barrel.
Damn right. Have you seen you?
These are wild accusations, Peter.
They're factual woman.
You know, truly and honestly, if it wasn't for the, excessive amount of fines and the fact that I enjoy my life so dearly, maybe when I'm like 64, I'll beat Annie Hudson-Taylor to being the oldest daredevil, and I'll go over the falls in a barrel.
Oh, I'm going to beat you because on June 3rd, I'm 64, and I'm going to go over the falls in a barrel, eh?
As long as we get to record it, Peter.
Oh, darn right, eh?
That's good content.
For all intents and purposes, Canadian government, he is not planning to go over in a barrel. No, he is not. That is not a real thing that is happening. No. He's a Canadian citizen, so no, he's not going to go over. He's a good boy.
These
a
are
good
all
boy, and
hypotheticals.
These are all hypotheticals.
Have you
None of
met
this is
me?
real. His name isn't even really Peter. It's Pietro Spartakov.
Why would you tell them his real name?
Pietro Verde.
It's fine. It's fine.
Pietro Verde.
I'm not even real. I'm a wax figure.
That
this
is
is
true.
AI.
All right. I better get that phone number up here, too. We do have a phone number. Where is everybody? Hang on a second.
Where is everybody?
Yeah, where is everybody?
Where is everybody? Zoe?
Wonderful question.
Jackson says, love the sweater, Zoe.
Oh, thank you. Guys, I'm going to come on your podcast all the time if people are just going to compliment me.
This is what we do. We have people, and they compliment people, and they love being here, and it's just a great time.
Right.
That is. Tell us. Wait. So I got it now. See, the gears are turning. I gotta put on the cool shades though.
Oh, do you?
So Zoe,
Oh, no.
tell us. Okay, so I'm a tourist, man, and I'm looking to come to Ohio.
Oh, you are?
So what is there to do in Ohio?
Why are you looking to go to Ohio? No, it's okay. That is such a long sound.
Reminds me of Cleveland.
You're not entirely wrong.
That's Cincinnati.
It's so hard for me to deny these things when, Honestly, if you're going to go to Ohio, Cleveland is your best bet for like anything. Buffalo and Cleveland are like sister cities. So they're very similar in size and atmosphere and all of that. I cannot take you seriously with those classes. But one of the coolest things you can do in Cleveland is we have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that also has a Rock and Roll History Museum attached to it. And it's really, really cool. There's like awesome like historical things like Elton John's piano and John Lennon's piano and Michael Jackson's one sparkly glove.
And Lady Gaga's meat dress.
Huzzah.
That's how long it's been. I was there when they had a replica of Lady Gaga's meat dress.
Yeah.
Because she had just worn it. That's how long it's been since I've been to Cleveland. It's been like 13 years.
It hasn't changed much, if we're being honest.
It is Cleveland. Things don't change.
That is true. No, Ohio's fantastic for more like nature-y stuff. If you want to go to a really beautiful state park that nobody knows about, there's a place called Nelson Ledges. And it's wonderful and amazing. There's these beautiful natural rock formations and like waterfalls, and there's a quarry you can swim in. In the summer, they have little music festivals. It's a wonderful place. I love it there. You can kayak there, bring your dogs. It's a great time.
Kayak, you say?
Kayak indeed, Nico.
We love kayaks.
We do. Nico, we should go kayaking.
We should, as long as we make reservations at a restaurant along the water in Lewiston before we go kayaking.
Is this how I go over the falls, everybody? Is it not a barrel but a kayak?
I mean...
Hypothetically, government, hypothetically.
I mean, it wouldn't be the sharpest thing to do.
You're so funny.
Half of our audience will get that joke, and the other half will be desperately confused.
If you're desperately confused, a man named Jesse Sharp tried to go over the falls once in a kayak.
Oh, he did go over the falls in a kayak. Badly, though. Not well. They lowered the water level, so he got stuck, and then instead of just cutting his losses and taking the fine, he just jerked his way over. Fell off in the water, and his kayak was fine. He was not so fine. But he was so sure that he was going to be able to do this. His plan was to go over the falls in a kayak, paddle down through the Class 6 rapids, through the whirlpool, end up in Lewiston, New York, and have dinner. Which, my best part of that is my brain doesn't immediately go to, like, oh, you're going to die. It's, you would have been arrested by the time you made it in Lewiston. Like, you made reservations, you would have been arrested at the restaurant. Like, you think they're going to let you eat? Like, oh, just sorry, wait, hold on a sec. I ordered carbonara. Let me have my carbonara.
Yeah.
When we're done with that, you can arrest me.
Yeah, honestly, Jesse Sharp had quite the ego, though. He really didn't wear a helmet, and his reason being is he didn't want it to, like, hide his face from the cameras. So I don't think he has a concept of actions have consequences. He did try to go over the falls in a kayak, and once again, his kayak was fine, and also found. Yeah. Jesse was also not fine, and also not found.
Yeah, that was
Don't make dinner reservations if you're going to go over the falls, everybody. No. This is my advice
The 90s were a wild time, man. I mean, like...
We're something.
The 90s going over the falls. The 90s were the years they're like, okay, we've done the barrel. We've done the giant, rubber balls like Angela's talking about. We've done all the put yourself inside of things. And we're like, why don't we just use watercraft, man?
Yeah, jet skis.
Jet skis. You got a jet ski for the homeless.
With parachutes and
with a rocket-propelled parachute.
Don't attach it to your body, though.
Listen, it was for the homeless.
A noble cause, but.
You got
Angela's piping in here with some good stuff. Pardon me. She's got for Ohio. There's the Ohio Renaissance Festival, Great Lakes Medieval Fair. Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as you said. I'm in it. You should know. Yes, go to the Fleetwood Mac display. I'm serious.
Peter Green.
Yes, he was the founder of Fleetwood Mac.
Oh,
it was called Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, because Mick Fleetwood and John McBee were in the band. And my daughter went there some years ago, and she sends me a picture on her phone and says, Dad, are you in this? No, he's dead. I think he's still dead, too. But anyway. But yeah, Angela's pointing out Nelson's Ledges Park. And she says, giant reinforced rubber ball, 100% survival rate. Don't know what that. Oh, that going over the falls.
Yes. Yeah, because so that was a discussion we were talking about one of the trivia questions at Power City was what was the safest way to go over the falls, and the answer was a barrel. And it was like, no, a reinforced rubber ball would actually be even more safe because that's a 100% success rate. And people have died in the barrel, especially when you tie an anvil to your legs.
They won't find anything except for your arm.
Which one should we show? This one?
Yeah, let's show Angela. Let's show Dragon Lady.
Angela.
So this is what I'm talking about. Imagine just like puff of smoke coming through the ether. And this is, we had Angela on our show a few weeks back. If you watch our episode on the Herschel Carousel Museum, Angela was our guest co-host, and like ridiculous amounts of information. I was less at trivia night. I did not think I was going to win because of Angela. I just squeaked past her. Like, it was like on one random question. So it was like, which now concerns me. But she knows more details. Like, between her and Darren. Have you met Darren officially?
I have not met Darren. However,
you will meet Darren.
I have heard so many wonderful things about this admirable storyteller.
Yeah, so Darren was at trivia night. Darren's another tour guide. And between Darren and Angela, they were like, oh yeah, this question, and they'd answer the question and then go into it like all these fine, minute details. Like, yeah, do you know he wasn't able to grip the rocks properly because his fingernails were 2 millimeters too short based on the... And I'm like, why do you know these things? And they're like, well, the record actually specifies that the decimal point should have been adjusted by point. And you're like, what? I'm sitting here, I'm like, yep, the falls, there's water going over it.
What Nico is neglecting to tell all of you, I'm going to air your dirty laundry right now, live. He's one of the biggest Niagara Falls nerds ever. Don't let him fool you.
I like how you're airing this and we're on episode 25 of a show that I co-created called Your Niagara Falls Experience.
I'm just here to be quirky and unique, everybody. He wrote a whole paper on, what was it, industrialized politics of Niagara Falls? And
it was public memory and... Exactly. It was city government and how dysfunctional it was in the 1960s through 2003.
Yeah, tiny details. I'm worried about fingernails.
You have an angry mob. Come on, it's Niagara Falls.
We don't have those.
Hey, we got another picture of Zoe here. I think
we
this
do.
Needs to be seen.
Yes, this is...
Oh, yes.
Praying, squatting, I don't know.
It's called photography and posing and truly trying to create an album-worthy, cover. I don't
Or a back injury.
Yeah, well, I'm still have my youth on my side, hypothetically. Yeah, we were taking photos for our...
You weren't taking photos for anything.
Nico!
This photo very specifically was taken as a vibe check.
Yeah, I think I passed.
Yeah, you did. This was a check the fit challenge.
Yes.
You didn't know that at the time.
No.
Like, we put it under some sort of ruse of like, community photos, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, no, this was a vibe check.
Yeah, this is actually how I dress on my day-to-day.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Bad. Thank you for asking, though. I wasn't ready to take photos that day. But we had time, and we decided to go around the park, gallivanting around, taking photos, and
What is
somehow...
gallivanting?
Gallivanting, Peter, when you gallivant.
Okay. I'm kind of at a loss with that. What is gallivanting? How do you gallivant? All right, keep on with your story, though. I mean,
you can't just gallivant past gallivant now. You've gallivanted into gallivant. You can't gallivant out of the gallivant.
Exactly.
I was just an English major. How am I supposed to know how English works, Peter?
Well, if you Americans, remember, I'm the Canadian half of this show, and if you Americans are so darned good and fancy and stuff, how come you haven't got your own language?
I mean, do you?
Yes. We are a colony of Great Britain. We have English. It's from England.
Yeah, but you're Great Britain. So you Great Britain just stole it from England. What about the rest of Great Britain that's not England?
Is it great?
No.
No, it's pretty
Speaking
good.
of Great Britain, you're getting a new king.
Oh, I know, Charles,
This Saturday.
And that crown, when it sits on those ears, I mean, you're talking Dumbo, right? And those ears are amazing. And when that crown sits on it, you could have a Dodge truck on top, and those ears will hold it up.
If the future king sees this, I am not here. I am not a real person. Please do not be mad at me.
We're already banned. We're banned in 7 countries at this point.
Oh, wonderful. Let's add an 8th, everybody.
Just today alone, we've been banned in 7 countries.
Honestly, I think that's a new world record. Congratulations.
Yes.
They won't even let us in Mighty Taco, even the one at Hurdle in Delaware.
What happened, Peter?
Well, you know.
Yeah.
It involves a beaver shark.
Oh, as it always does. It always comes back to the beaver
2
sharks.
bears, a bison, a handful of geese.
Yeah,
But
and
only
sheep.
one makes it.
Okay, hang on. Angela's firing back with us. And folks, pipe in.
Involving
Send us-
side salads, pizzas, corgis, bananas, Carlos's Empire State Building, and Ariana Grande's. See, Angela knows what happened. Yeah, see, there was a lot.
exactly.
We have a call-in line.
Yeah, we do.
We've been
The
setting that
phone
up for
is
the last
plugged
20
in.
minutes. 716-957-5258. That's 716-957-5258. It's my money. Give it to me.
Zoe, hello!
Oh, wow.
It's my money. It was your money. Now it's my money. Give it to me. Call this number and give me all of your former money, which is now mine.
I have 53 cents.
Only you can save the beaver sharks.
That's right. And here at NPR, we're just reminding people that your monthly donation will help one beaver shark escape the extinction that's sort of gripping all of them right now. So just $12 a month will get you the great beaver shark mug from here at NPR. So just remember that.
Wonderful.
Yes, this
So
is...
what's happening in Niagara Falls? Zoe, tell us what you've noticed. You look a little blurry there.
Oh, I'm
We are
sorry.
blurry.
There you go.
It
There we
happens.
go.
Yeah,
Sorry,
when you move
I keep
around,
moving.
sometimes the camera will reset its focus.
You put me in
Anyway,
a spinning
so,
chair.
yeah, let's get into the meat of this, okay? How long you been a tour guide now?
A month.
A month in. All right.
Same!
Huzzah!
Hey, fruit flies live, what, 12 hours? So there you go. You've been there a while. And if fruit flies life, that's a lifetime. So, or something.
Multiple.
Anyway, so you've been here a month. What do you like? What have you seen that you really like? Things. It could be people, it could be places. I love the way you described the fact that people were happy. So tell me what you like.
I love that every single day I get to wake up and just be in one of the coolest spots in like the whole world, and I get to do that for a living.
Yeah, but the people of Iceland feel the same way.
Well, good for them. That's fantastic. I'm happy
Yeah.
for them. No, I love that every day I learn something new too. Even if it's not like a fellow tour guide or it's a local, especially since I'm not from this area, I feel like I've learned so much just by talking to people and about, what's there to do around here or the history here. Niagara Falls has a weird history, as we all know. And every day I find out something more. Like today, when Nico and I went to a random grave in the middle of the woods for a woman named Elizabeth.
It was Eliza Kegg.
Oh, Eliza Kegg, yes.
Eliza.
And she was 22 years old, and her grave is just there.
I see dead people.
Precisely.
Which, I mean, but you didn't, before that, we went to Frankie's.
We did go to Frankie's, and I ate a donut, and it was wonderful. It was such a good donut. I would like another donut.
They're buy two, get one free right now.
This is an
Have
ad.
you seen the donuts at that restaurant on Old Fall Street?
McAnally's?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my Lord. Brett had to show them to me today. My friend Brett, and he's like, gotta show you these. And he took me over to McAnally's, and in the window, these donuts are construction items. Like, I mean, it takes months to build these things. You could build a welcome center out of donuts, probably faster than, anyway.
You're not wrong.
We have a welcome center?
We will.
Eventually.
will we?
Yeah, in 2036.
Oh, no. I will be eligible for presidency by then, and that will be my first act, is getting the visitor center done.
It's a state visitor center. You have no rights here.
You have no idea what rights I have and do not have.
You're from Ohio. You don't have rights here.
Anyways,
So mercifully free of the ravages of intelligence.
But no, I learned something new every single day was the point of that story.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. I think I've learned more in the past month than I've had in a very long time, which is that saying a lot? Up for your interpretation. But no, it's wonderful. All of my coworkers are wonderful except for Nico.
Yeah.
He's the worst of all of them, but that's okay. They can't all be perfect.
That is true.
But yeah, no, it's absolutely wonderful. I love really everything. I love that there's so much good food here. The pizza in Niagara Falls, man. Whoa.
Okay, wait. Yeah, because
Whoa.
this was like one of the first things we ever talked about was pizza and wings. That was like the first thing we've talked about on like the very beginning of this show. So where's your go-to pizza place in Niagara Falls?
In Niagara Falls, what a wonderful question. So would now be a bad time to tell you I live in Buffalo, New York, and not in Niagara Falls? I haven't tried too many Niagara Falls places.
Oh,
I'm gonna
that's
be
shameful.
honest with you. Well, perhaps maybe in the next podcast will just be me trying like 6 different types of pizzas. And
Let's
giving
make it
them
happen.
A rating
Yeah.
station.
Okay, so wait. We're getting you, we're getting Party Marty, we're getting Team Nick, we're getting Roland, we're getting, I don't know, Angela. We can get Lenny if we want. We can get everyone. Let's get anyone who's watching the show right now. We'll just all bring them in. We'll just move the camera back. We'll line them up. We'll blind taste test, like, I don't know.
And
Let's
we can
do
rate
it.
them.
Like-
Honestly, I'm so down for this. Guys, I'll be back
There was
next
no
Wednesday.
Festival of Slice this year. We can, Stens. I know Stens might watch this on rerun. I don't think Stens is watching right now. If Stens is watching this, Stens, call Peter. I want you to, like,
Yes.
you could be the temporary host, so Peter's not allowed to taste pizza. You're not allowed to. You can't participate. You're a Canadian. You don't
Fine,
count.
be that way. Hey, I like this maple syrup pizza.
Honestly,
That's a great idea.
Maple syrup.
Have you noticed the eclectic mix of all those guides that Nico mentioned? What a great place it is. I mean, we just showed a picture, and Angela says she's in. We just showed a picture of Angela. Very eclectic, very creative, very stagey. You've got people, Caleb is really good, and you've got Lenny, who's kind of like a comedian, and Marty and Nick and Roland, his dad, Nick's dad. I mean, do you ever want to like carry a dinosaur
I
like
was
Angela?
accosted by Ponytail Nick.
Oh no, yeah, he said he's got something to.
He had a bone to pick with me,
Right.
and I'm like, no, you have a bone to pick with Peter. And he's like, no, you are questioning the legitimacy of me being Roland's son.
that's the issue he had with the last
That was
podcast?
the issue he had with the last podcast.
Well, he's struggling with reality anyway. But you notice that, like, is there anyone you would emulate? Zoe, let me go back and say that, would you carry a dinosaur like Angela? Would you grow a beard like Darren? I mean,
God, I wish.
This is a rigged question.
Honestly,
did you know he dressed up as Santa at Christmas and did his tours?
I saw photos on his reviews.
He didn't dress up as Santa. Darren is Santa.
Aw.
He brings love and joy to all the children. He's so wonderful. I actually, funny you should mention Angela's dinosaur / dragon. I do carry a goat with me.
I have
Peter.
not seen the goat.
He
Where is
stays
the...
in my bag. I bring him out usually for children when they're like crying or really upset because it's a fun little surprise to be like, look, a stuffed little goat. Huzzah.
I
But-
bring edibles. Anyway, go ahead.
Don't feed the children edibles,
That
Peter.
is strike 2, one more, and we get to throw you over the falls, Peter.
We're on 2. But I use the goat more so for the Goat Island tours. Obviously.
Because of the bears.
Because of the bears, yes. Obviously the goats for the bears. But truly, there's a lot of people.
Da bears.
The bears. I already have the hair, which is a pretty powerful statement in itself. But I really, every time I've shadowed a lot of tours starting this job, and as I've gone through the park and done tours, I've seen other people, and I pick up things from everybody. There's always somebody telling a story I've never heard, or like delivering something in a different way, or presenting something in a way I never would have thought of. I just watched a YouTube video posted by Explore Niagara, and Caleb was in that video, and he talked about how in the area before the cave, once you're done with the video presentation, to like tell people they can like put on waterproof clothing in that area. Literally, never would have even thought to use that space for that. I was like, this is just an empty space with benches. Why do you even have this?
Well, it's funny because they used to. So, fun fact, since you're new here. Since you're new here.
Yeah, the world changed here leads into the shoes changed here.
That's
so they used to they used to hand out sandals.
Oh.
And the whole point was you got souvenir sandals at the Cave of the Winds. And people really, really liked the sandals. And then during COVID, and they didn't say it was because of COVID, they just came back and said, yeah, as part of our Going Green initiative, because we don't want to have to recycle sandals anymore, we're not going to give out sandals anymore because it's environmentally friendlier to not have sandals. Which, sure, I guess. Personally, I feel like a lot of people kept those sandals.
Yeah, I feel like
You'd
I would
always
keep
see
the
them,
sandals.
like you would always see people walking around. Like I'd go to the mall and people were wearing those at the mall. Like I'm like, oh, he went to the cave. And now I'm like, I don't know if they went to the cave, unless they're wearing a really thin yellow poncho.
Or some guy out there in a trench coat is selling sandals on a street corner. Well, do you know the story, Nico, that back around 2010 or 11, they were gathering those sandals that were turned in to send them to some type of mission organization. And they had a warehouse full of them. And sadly, it just got thrown out. It never got to, it was just something we were telling people at the falls was, they reuse them in third world nations. Speaking of Cleveland. But, no, Cleveland's not, I know. This is a Canadian explanation, but Cleveland's not technically part of the third world, but no one's told the people of Cleveland that yet. But,
I think you can throw them over the falls now. That's 3.
Yeah, that's 3.
That's 3.
That's 3. So well, Peter gets to decide how he's going over.
Oh, I'm going in a Lexus. No, a Tesla. That'll be appropriate.
A Cybertruck?
That'll work. I don't know. I would love to go over in a barrel. I really would. I don't know if I'd survive it, but if Annie did at 63, then I will at 90. I mean, come on.
I mean, most people do survive. That's not encouragement for anybody else out there, but it is encouragement for you, Peter.
But like most people, it's more like the majority survived. It's not survivable.
No,
It's just the majority.
I'm talking daredevils here, people.
Also, there's a $10,000 fine.
From both sides.
Yes.
It is international waters, everybody.
No, it's actually not international waters. That's what's interesting. It's Canadian waters or American waters.
Right.
That's the dividing line.
But
international waters are unclaimed by any country.
if you're going over the falls, they're both going to claim you.
That's true. Yeah, but I'm a
So.
Canadian, and they'll, my Canadian folks will
Say that
be
you.
up first.
Yeah, that is true. Depends on which side picks you up.
True.
Is it going to be Niagara City Cruises or is it going to be the Maid?
With my luck.
You're-
It'll be a cruise ship out of Puerto Vallarta.
I was going to say you get picked up by the jet boat.
Vroom, vroom.
I got to get time to get over to Canada. I got to start representing here.
Yes.
But I have to say, one of the greatest advantages the U.S. has is you, Zoe. It's young tour guides. I'm dead serious. I'm in my 60s, IQ-wise anyway. But young tour guides. Angela's the same way, although she may be a little older than you. But Nico and Caleb, and it's nice to see a young generation, not just older historians or people who gravitate towards history, but I mean that. It's your enthusiasm and the enthusiasm that you and your colleagues and other young tour guides bring to the table is really exciting.
Cool. Well, thank you. We try.
It is, because I think people enjoy the energy you bring. And Nico, you bring it too. I mean, people comment all the time on the pith helmet, I think that's awesome, But It's nice to see, because the tour guides, I don't know if you know what your experience has been like, but you will find at some point, Zoe, where tour guides will be sitting around and all of a sudden a group of them, I won't name names because I probably couldn't remember them anyway, but some of them will start kind of getting into a little gossip circle. And that happens in every industry, at the water cooler, the coffee machine. But you guys are a lot different. Nick and Marty and yourself and just all these people. Roland, for the father of one such Nick, Roland's pretty cool. There's some great people out there. David, I already mentioned Angela, Ricky. But yeah, your youth brings a lot of energy to Niagara Falls. Because when I first started, it was a very old group of tour guides. Now I'm that old group of tour guides. You guys can kick us out. Damn it, my day we didn't need barrels. We went over and gift wrap.
I think we need to call a welfare check on
I
it.
think we do.
I just
this is
cashed my
actually-
welfare check, thank you.
This is an intervention, Peter. That's why I was actually brought here today.
But nothing happens in Canada. That's what. See, Peter's been away from Canada for too long. He needs to reset. His
Yes.
maple
I
syrup
do.
supply is quite low.
I do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I like is that people say Canadians smell like maple syrup, but it's because it's in our shampoo and our deodorant and our cologne and our toothpaste.
Is it true that your money smells like maple syrup?
No,
Is it not?
no.
I just wanted to know.
No, it doesn't.
I'm just waiting until Dumbo, never mind, gets on the money. I have too much fun with Canada. But
Just a wee bit.
yeah, but yeah, it's nice to see, like, doing this show especially the last couple of months with all these guides on. It's been really exciting to see the tone and timbre of guides. And I didn't mean a number age makes you younger, but it is your energy and your youth that rubs off. It rubs off on Roland, myself. Some of the older tour guides really pick up on it because you are interested in the fun. And you can sit with Angela and she just hammers you with tons of stuff about Niagara Falls because of her enthusiasm. A lot of these guys, I remember when I used to sit with some of the older non-defunct guides and they'd sit and bitch and complain and talk about elements of the job, and then all of a sudden you guys come in and it's like, wow, the glaciers, I stood outside for an hour. And, hey, Roland's on there. He says, I'm young at heart. And your spleen and your liver, and I think your kidneys, too. So there you go, brother.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I feel really every day, I've been saying the words every day a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm not a professional podcaster like these men here.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
You
Professionals.
promised.
I know I lied on my resume. Nick, if you're watching. No.
Did you put professional podcaster on your resume?
How do you think I got this job?
Zoe! Zoe, hello!
Oh, wow. I feel like I have to say hello every time you play that sound.
Yes, you do.
Hello. It's hard to, not have fun energy when talking about the falls. Everyone in my personal life, again, Mom, if you're watching, you know firsthand. Everybody in my life, all my friends and family, have heard relentlessly about the weird history and even the not so weird history. I've talked more about erosion in the past month than I ever have in my whole life, and I am for once not bored by it. It's so cool. Everything I learn about the falls is so cool. It's such a cool place to be. How can you not have fantastic energy? Everyone I meet has the same energy, and it all just builds, and it's wonderful. And I've been in jobs like you were talking about earlier where everyone kind of congregates and gossips at the water cooler, and you kind of don't want to be a part of it because you're oh, that makes me a bad person, but I also don't want to be left out. And this is the first job ever where it's there is no water cooler gossip, A, because we don't have a water cooler because we're outside, but B, because everyone's...
Big honkin' waterfall.
Right. If you need water, it is fresh. So it is from Lake Erie. Drink at your own risk, but it is fresh water. But everyone's so wonderful. How, Dexter down at the docks.
Oh, Dex.
Dexter, my man. Everybody I meet, it's I was really worried coming into this job because I have never been a tour guide before, but B, it's hard going into a new job, at any job, that everybody here seems so close-knit. Everybody knows each other's names, especially, walking around with, like, Nico, who knows everybody at the Maid. It's hard to be like, I'm going to be good at this job, but everybody I've met has been like, oh my gosh, you're a new tour guide? That's so wonderful.
You're his parole officer.
Right. I don't think that legally I can do that.
Yeah, I don't.
Sure is fun, though.
That wouldn't hold up in court, Peter.
It would not.
I don't know. Can you see your Facebook there?
I
Nico?
can.
I think we should announce who's watching.
No, I don't think we should.
Why?
I think you should just be held in suspense.
Ooh. Drum roll.
And Roland says, what, no one told you about the tour guide lounge? It has bars on the windows. And Roland's right. Like he says earlier that he's young at heart. Roland's got great energy.
Yeah.
I like watching him with his people.
Yes. I loved watching Roland while he was on your guys' podcast.
Roland is fun.
He was wonderful. It was fantastic. Very passionate about the Beaver Shark Initiative, considering his sons are Beaver Shark killers.
I know, they stand out there like Spartans,
Speaking of which, Peter, aren't you supposed to sudden death round us with random trivia questions?
Oh, darn, yes.
I thought you forgot about that, Nico.
See, the
I was
biggest
so
problem I
hopeful.
have with asking you trivia questions, I have to be completely blunt with you, is that everything I know comes out of the Canadian guide that they use for the study guide. I was part of a long time ago. My information comes from Canada, and a lot of times I've asked it of people, and it's right out of the guide, but it's not what they're saying on this side because there are different interpretations. So I'm going to try and think of something that goes with the Americans. But let me show, there was one here from Angela. Give me a second here.
There was one, and it was for you, Zoe. Yes, there was one trivia question for
No, okay, guys,
you,
listen. They're
and
really
for you
hyping
only.
me up here, but I would like to remind everyone I've only been doing this for a month. I am not the most knowledgeable person in the whole world.
I don't think anyone is.
Well, Tesla might have been once upon a time.
Even that's debatable. Like, if you ask Tesla to make a delicious strawberry shortcake.
Honestly, probably could. If he can make death lasers, that is just
Yeah, but those
an
are two different
alleged
things. Like no, a death laser is just producing massive amounts of heat in a direction.
Isn't that all baking a cake is?
No. Baking a cake is making sure the temperature is just the right amount. Like, death laser is as hot as possible.
What
This is
do
the
you
difference
shoot a
between
cake
making
at?
toast and lighting your kitchen on fire.
Understood.
All right. Question for both of you, even though it says Zoe, from Angela. Hello, Angela. What is the plungosphere? What is the plungosphere?
We just saw that.
We did?
That was in the Wax Museum.
Oh, no!
That was, I think that was the giant orange ball.
Oh, was
I
it?
think. Who was in that one? No. You know names. I just know things.
I know nothing.
Plungosphere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the giant orange ball.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Let me check for Angela.
I
for her
don't-
answer.
Angela, please.
It wasn't.
Help a poor woman out.
Angela's abandoned us.
In my time of need, Angela, please. I have a dinosaur tattoo. I thought we were one in the same.
Peter should know this. I'm sure Peter does know this. He just doesn't want to tell us.
Well, come on, I want you guys to guess.
Well, what are we guessing? What is the plungosphere?
Yeah, hang on.
big-
Well, Angela, why don't you... She says it's not crazy hard, just fun. So
Yeah.
that could be her question, her career, or her dinosaur's head. I don't know. But, Angela, why don't you give them the... What is your answer?
The orange ball,
An orange ball in the Wax Museum.
of which somebody went over the falls
Somebody,
in.
but who was it?
Who's to say?
Don't think it's Stathakis because he did not go over in a plungosphere.
According to Angela, it was the second rubber ball reinforced with steel.
And we know that the rubber ball is 100% guaranteed. So whoever
That guy
went,
just died recently. Trying to think.
well, he didn't die in the ball. No one's ever died in a reinforced rubber ball.
Was it Steve Trotter? Is that who we're talking about?
Was it?
Well, I just know that he died recently. That's why I'm asking. I'm
No,
so sorry for
did
contributing to this
Did
conversation.
Trotter die recently?
He last year. Because he was going to go over the falls a third time.
And he, oh yeah.
And now he will not be doing that.
Back in October he died, yeah.
See, I know things. Not a lot of things.
You know good
But
things.
You know important things. Boya.
Is that what she's saying?
That's what she said.
Yeah, that was the guy who just passed away as well. He just passed away maybe 2
Nathan
months ago.
Boya.
Oh, I don't know that one.
But that's, wait a second. Nathan Boya was who he said he was, but that's not who he was.
Yeah,
What
but it was
kind
him
of
in
cryptic-
1961.
What in the...
His real name was William Fitzgerald, and he went over in 1961 in the plungosphere, the ball. Yeah.
Got it.
There you go.
Now we've learned something. See, you guys, every day I learn something new.
Now you could tell that on tour.
I probably will. Sometimes I need to fill in spaces if there's like a long wait for something, and you can never have enough stories.
Well, it's also a matter, I've found over the years that it's a matter of who you're talking with and who you're leading. Like you shared today, you had a group who obviously did not speak English well. And that'll happen. A lot of Hispanic Americans, for instance, learn English because it's part of their culture. But when you encounter people from countries like Colombia and Venezuela, you'll find countries that aren't exposed to English. So, you know, that's a real challenge. Is how, like you said, how did you put it? You said you motioned or gestured as much as you could.
Absolutely. So yeah, I never do the same tour twice. I always try to mold it to who my group is. If I have a lot of kids, then I'm going to tell more of the, like, I'm going to tell the old scout story and all those, like, weird, like, more fun and whimsical sides of Niagara Falls. But today, when I had a group that was primarily Spanish-speaking, it's a lot of gestures, it's a lot of, you know, making numbers with your fingers, because a lot of the times, even if they're not understanding what your words are, they'll understand what you're trying to get across by if you're motioning or your expressions and all of that, and that's just as important as your words. And when I'm telling stories for people like that, usually they have somebody in their family who's translating, so I usually slow it down, use a lot more simpler words, not in like dumb it down kind of way, but usually I'm talking fast, I'm using a lot of names, a lot of like really hard to translate words, that I just cut those details out because they're not as important as making sure that everybody gets to hear these stories as a whole, you know? I'll also, if I'm like having, you know, groups like that, you know, maybe are struggling a little bit to understand me or, you know, all of that, I won't tell them about like the Sholkoff like power plant because Sholkoff is a ridiculous word, you know?
That's bonus point. Spell Sholkoff.
SCHOLOKPH. Am I close?
What were the last four letters?
Sholkoff. K-O-P-H. Is it FF? I don't know, guys. I was only an English major.
I believe she spelled it right.
Oh, huzzah!
It's PF.
Don't make me doubt myself, Nico.
Yeah, it's PF.
I'm out of my element.
It's PF Chang's, yeah.
Oh, God.
the local PF Chang's fell into the gorge.
Now we have to go all the way to the Galleria.
Shameful.
Shameful, indeed. But yeah, so when I have groups like that, I really try my best to make sure everybody's having the best experience. That's what matters most. All of the stories and everything are wonderful, but if they leave and they feel like they didn't have a good time, those stories don't matter. They're not going to remember things that they don't care about. So really making sure your group is engaged and making sure that they're having fun with you is the first priority. Those stories can always come later, or you know, you have you know, all of these facts around the falls themselves on like placards and all of that. I want to make sure that they're having the best time I can possibly give them. So using, you know, making sure it's easy for them to translate, slowing myself down, and again, doing more expressive things so that they get the point whether or not they can understand my words themselves. That's all you got to do, man. Everybody's just there to have a good time. They care to see the falls. They want to hear the stories and do all of the fun experiences. And as long as you're helping them engage with that in the best way possible, everybody's going to have a good time.
Excellent. Great way to put it.
Thank you.
So I've got one for you that give you an example of what I'm talking about. How the Canadian Study Guide differs. What is the circumference of the crest line of the Horseshoe Falls?
2,500 feet, I believe, is what we say here in America.
Exactly. And on the Canadian study guide that you would be questioned on, it's 2,200 feet.
Well, that's also what it is on the American study guide. Whether or not that's the truth.
Of course. Yet right on the signs, but at Terrapin Point, you've got that. You know?
Yes.
There's it's the have you heard of the infinite coastline theory?
Elaborate more, Nico.
Okay, so the infinite coastline theory states that trying to measure a coastline is physically impossible because it depends upon how small you are measuring the coastline.
Right.
So if you're measuring a coastline using a meter stick or a yardstick, and you measure it, it can't bend so much. So that's how you get that. But if you measured it using little dots of inches, you could get a much more precise measurement that is actually longer. Now, if you measure it on an atomic scale, you could physically measure every crack and every individual space between them, and it ends up meaning that all coastlines are infinite and measurements are a myth.
Wonderful. I also wonder, now this might just me being, ignorant on the subject, but I wonder if one of those measurements is older than the other because of how the falls erode and everything. Depending on how much it's eroded or how long ago those measurements were taken for the test and or for the science, if that might have had some. Obviously, it shouldn't cause 300 feet worth of altercation, but...
Oh, it absolutely can, because it's also the fact you have to remember that Peter wrote the test.
There
that's
it
why
is.
It's part of the team that put together the questions, yeah.
I like it was part of the team that put together, he wrote the test. It's all him.
Test.
Yes. He's evil. It's his fault.
Well, that all makes
blame
sense.
it on Canada.
I blame everything on Canada.
I'm not going to dig that one out.
Do not.
Don't dig a hole that neither one of us can climb out of, Peter.
Help me.
Help me, please.
Now, here's just something I'm going to throw at you, is that I've been listening to guides for the last while. On the Canadian study guide, they acknowledge 16 recorded trips over the falls, and that 5 people have died.
I believe that...
But that's the Canadian side, and I hear on this side people say there have been 18 attempts, or I hear differing numbers, but that's the one I've always gone with.
So we actually went and counted it.
Yes, I believe there's been 16 daredevils, 19 attempts, but there's 17 daredevils if you count Nick Wallenda. Some people do, some people don't, because technically speaking, he did go over the falls, but he didn't go over the falls.
Right.
He went across the falls. So I guess it is more up for interpretation, but I believe we settled on 16 daredevils, 19 attempts, if I am not mistaken.
That works.
Yes.
See, part of what I've learned over the years is that you can get together with a bunch of people and play trivia and do this, and it comes down to an answer, and that answer is kind of fixed in the trivia experience or Jeopardy or whatever. But when you're dealing with Niagara Falls or anywhere, because I do tours in Toronto and wineries, etc., we use variations on it. We use approximations, science believes, or legend that whole thing is that we try and connect with that person with, you said it beautifully a few minutes ago, about they'll remember what they want to remember, what they enjoyed, and they won't remember what they didn't. And there's a lot of people that don't care if it was 1861 or 1867, But it really is how we represent this area that, to me, that makes the biggest, the enthusiasm that we show. And so you got that in spades. I like watching Nico work with people. He engages all kinds of people around him, and it's great.
It is wonderful. You're wonderful, Nico.
That's lies. That's not true. Don't listen to
is
this. This is artificial propaganda. Don't listen to any of them.
We are all
deeply
hoping that Nico runs for president.
No, we're not doing that. President?
Yes.
President? I've heard.
I am moving you on up in the world. We're going straight to the top.
I don't think I do. There's only been one president in the history of the United States that's ever been a political science. Technically, I don't have a degree in political. I have a minor in political science, but there's been no president that has ever had any. There's been one And I believe it was...
Ronald Reagan.
No, it wasn't.
That was
It
a
was
joke,
not.
everybody. That was a joke. I know that he was a movie star. Please do not cancel me.
Well, if Nico is our president, luckily I belong to another country, right? No, I'd follow you, brother. It's fun.
President of the insane asylum over here.
That is what we are.
Yes. Well, this has been fun. And,
So
okay,
cool
Larissa
to see the
says-
pigeon live.
Yeah.
I know who this is.
Who calls you a pigeon? It's my mom! Hi, Mom! My mom is here. I called Nico my pigeon. And accidentally I called my boss a pigeon one time. Nick, if you're watching, again, it's supposed to be for Nico. Because he's my messenger. And one time he did something very nice for me and answered a question. And I called him my hero. And he said, I am just the messenger. And so now I call him my pigeon.
Yes.
So he's my messenger pigeon.
I am the pigeon in the park. That is my job.
Yes, he's my pip.
And what a pip I am. Pip, pip, cheerio, straight back to England with the king.
Huzzah. But yes. Hi, Mom. Mom, do you have any questions for the podcast? I can't believe she actually tuned in. Guys, if you see Larissa in the comments, that is my lovely mother who raised me to be the woman I am today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larissa Jackson Catcott
That
has
is her.
now entered the building.
Hi. She's probably like, why are you guys talking about me right now?
Because that's how this works.
Yes, you interacted, Mom. You're the fool.
You've doomed us all.
It's okay. I'm the one actually on the podcast. I don't know how I got here either.
Yeah, how did you get here?
I think
You drove.
well, that's the rumor. That is the rumor. I did drive here, and I walked outside, and there was a restaurant with a very questionable name, and then I walked across the street.
Yeah, I gave her very specific instructions on how to find the studio.
Yes, and I found it. Once again, Mom, you know how bad I am with directions. You'd be very proud of me. I did it on my first try, all by myself. I am a grown adult woman, everybody. But yes, no, my mother's wonderful. I think she would be a fantastic tour guide, actually, if we're being honest with ourselves. My mom would be the best tour guide ever. She would probably outperform all of us.
So what you're saying is get her on the show.
Yeah, honestly, my mother would be your best guest to date. That's a bold claim, and I know that maybe I shouldn't be saying that when Nick is probably watching, and also everybody else who's been on the show, but she's a wonderful... Oh, there's my mom, everybody! That's actually a photo of us in Scotland together, if you guys were wondering. That's my mom. She's the best. That's a picture of 17-year-old Zoe, everybody. I was just a wee lass in that photo.
In Scotland?
In Scotland. But yeah, she's my travel buddy. She's just as knowledgeable as I am, perhaps not on Niagara Falls, but on literally everything else you could ever want. She's the best mom ever. I don't know how this podcast became about my mom, but she's my mom. And I love her.
We're next. That's it. We're doing the mom cast.
Honestly, let's do it. You
Tour
bring
guides' moms.
Can we make that
Yeah,
happen?
because we had Roland, he's Nick's dad, so we
Yep.
can do moms.
Wonderful.
Let's do it.
For Mother's Day, Mom, you have been formally invited to get onto the podcast. She would be wonderful.
Should I find another picture of her?
No, I mean, you can.
Infinite pictures.
I'm
I found
sure.
a picture of her feet.
Don't.
I'll formally invite my mother to not be on the podcast. You don't want to do this, Mom. Danger. Danger.
Come on the podcast, Nico's mother. What's your mother's
Don't do
name?
it. Don't do it. I'm not telling you.
Deborah. I don't know what your name is.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Listen, if your name's Deborah, you could absolutely be on the show.
If
Please
your
come on
name
the
is
show.
Deborah, hi.
Your name is
This
Deborah. Please come on the show.
I'm actually the new host here. We are kicking Peter off. It is just America now. We have conquered.
Don't tempt him with that. He'll do it. He will probably do it.
The serious look he just gave me.
Like you could see that's in his eyes.
I'm never going to be invited back, guys. This is
That's not true.
the.
No, we get
You'll be
desperate
back.
sometimes.
I mean, heck, if we could have Nick and Marty on. Oh, which reminds me,
Yes.
before we leave and everything, because it is already 8:06. Whoa,
Wow.
where'd the time go?
We've been having fun.
So there's a little thing that we've been doing, which is called messing with Team Nick and Party Marty. Because although apparently Nick now watches the show, so really it's more just messing with Party Marty. Because Party Marty was on our show a couple of weeks ago, but he does not watch our show.
What a fake fan.
So all of last week, Angela has been convincing people that see Party Marty to just whisper in his ear, "the Michigan." And when he goes, "What?" just say, "You gotta watch your Niagara Falls experience, Marty." Like, you're not watching the show. So this week's, I'm giving you one this week. Angela, pay attention. Everyone who's gonna see Party Marty this week, pay attention. If you run into Party Marty, the phrase this week is, "To Bear Island." To Bear Island.
The bears. The bears.
To Bear Island.
To Bear Island. So just go up to him, whisper into his ear, "To Bear Island," and watch the confused look on his face. Eventually, he'll catch on that it's about the show that he was on.
I hope he never catches on. I'm going to be honest with you, Nico.
This is going to be a running game now to see how long. So right now we are at 1 week. 1 week he hasn't figured out that people are just messing with him about the show. It's been 1 week and he hasn't tuned in. The longer it goes, the higher the stakes get. I feel like, there's got to be some sort of game we can make out of this. Like prizes.
Well, look,
I want a prize.
A lifetime supply of Made of the Mist postcards.
One whole crate.
Yeah.
1 crate.
1 crate of
Do you
Made
know
of the
how
Mist.
many? I mean, we've got them all over here. Like, you pull out of your pocket.
Do you want to go in my car, Peter, and see the amount of... Guys, if you're coming to the Made of the Mist and you would like a postcard, just ask when you buy your ticket. They will just give you postcards. They're free.
That is true.
Here's Tourism Hack 101 with
Or
Zoe.
for 55 cents, you can go over to the lovely gift shop attached to the Wax Museum and buy a postcard from the 1950s.
Both are options.
Has the Made of the Mist boats on it from the 1950s.
Our boats don't look like that anymore. Our boats are electric now.
That is true.
We're so eco-friendly at the park.
We are. No sandals and electric boats.
Look at us go.
The future is now.
The future is now, everybody. The world changed here. What is happening?
Oh, that is the sound. That is our cue. The building is collapsing. It is time for us to go.
Wonderful, everybody.
Hino has been angered by our stories.
He does not want us to tell our stories. No, Lele Walla. Stop referring to the Maid of the Mist as a boat. He's offended.
Yeah, it's actually a ship. I give a ship.
Oh, no.
Oh, I know. Aren't they horrible? All right, so we say goodnight?
Yes, for your Niagara Falls experience.
Yeah, and on behalf of all Canadians who got, no content tonight, eh? We'll be back with lots of it. Yeah.
Yeah, one of these days he'll come back and actually talk about Canada. Right now, we don't talk about Canada. Canada's not real.
Not real.
Not real.
It
It's not a
is.
real
Where's
place.
Ohio? I'm not real either.
No.
Thanks for having me. I will now evaporate.